G'day and welcome to Blogland again. I'm down in the Nongataha Strip in sunny RotoVegas, and I just wanted to come and quickly show you some units that I own down here. It's kind of probably the most significant deal that I'd ever done, and everybody, when I got out of the car, everybody's kind of looking at me weird. So I just thought I'd show you from here. This is just a block of units. There's 6 two-storied ones. They're just units, there's not a whole lot to see. And I'll take you around the corner and show you the single-story ones. I mean, at the end of the day, sorry about that. At the end of the day, property's property, but I just thought it might, people seem to like to see the actual deals, you know, so this is around the other side. It's all very exciting, isn't it? And so this is the single level ones here. These were originally attached to a hotel, I think, but just a very interesting story with these. One, they were such a good deal that I was able to 100% finance them when I shouldn't have been able to. Secondly, the way that I got them was quite interesting. It was through another investor who couldn't settle on them. Excuse me, I'll put my seatbelt on. And the third thing was that it really enabled me to turn a corner with my investing because of the equity that it gave me. So I'll do the rest of my blog from the hotel this evening, but I just wanted to, I thought I'd drive here and at least let you have a quick look at world famous Nongataha and my so-called Rotorua deal. So I'll talk to you more this evening. Bye. Okay, so here we are in sunny RotoVegas, and welcome back. Hopefully we'll be able to join the other bit in this together. You should be seeing them as one. So what I wanted to talk about was just this Rotorua deal. There were several interesting things about it. One is just to kind of help you guys. One is that it was a deal that I purchased for $810,000, and it had a valuation at the time of 1.1 million. I've since unit titled it, which cost very little, and it's now worth 1,550,000. But it was one of those deals where, and I'm telling you this because you need to look for this, one day it'll come up. It was a big chunky equity deal. Now what that meant is that all of a sudden I went from being kind of not that popular with the banks, or always hard work with the banks, suddenly by having $300,000 equity in one deal, they loved me, and I couldn't believe suddenly how much easier it was to get finance than it had been previously. So that's just something to understand. When you find a big equity deal, think seriously about keeping it, because it really, I've never looked back since then in terms of being able to borrow. The other interesting thing about it was that because it was such a good deal, it required some effort, but between my broker and my good friend Chris Pedersen, who's involved with General Finance and does some work with me, he managed to finance it 100%. It was such a good deal, I ended up going to Chris and saying, listen, there's $300,000 equity in this deal. I didn't have any money for a deposit, so I couldn't buy it normally. There has to be a way. Now we ended up getting some money at floating rate, some at 12 and some at 16. So for some of you think, paying 16% interest, that's ridiculous. My wife was slashing her wrists when she went in to sign the documents. I was so afraid of what she'd say that I actually hadn't told her what the interest rate was. I'd flown to Fiji, Raywin had to go in and sign the documents, and she could have killed me for some time afterwards. But she would be the first to admit, if I wasn't in Rotorua I would have grabbed her to comment on it, but she'd be the first to say that she understands now what she didn't understand then, and that is that the deal was so good it didn't matter what it was going to cost us to hold it in the short or medium term. We always knew we could refinance it later, but we had to find a way to settle on it. So we achieved that. So that's just some more encouragement for you. Good deals will find the money. But probably the biggest lesson to learn is about being prepared yourself, knowing your own limitations as an investor, and having another exit strategy, because the circumstances in which I got this deal were probably the most interesting. To begin at the beginning, I had a guy contact me who was trying to sell me this block of units in Rotorua, and I had a look at the deal and thought they were just expensive, and I dropped it. But because, as is my habit, because I looked at this deal in Rotorua, I started getting my Trade Me alerts for Nongataha and Rotorua. And a couple of weeks later, I saw this this ad. It was just one ad for some units in Nongataha pop up, and I thought, oh, they sounded quite cheap, and it was 6 units, and it was 400 and something thousand. And so I decided I'd do a bit of homework on it and follow it up. When I contacted the guy, it actually transpired that there were 2 blocks of units. And after I instantly faxed off a sale and purchase agreement, as I do. And then this big long thing started, which I won't go into great detail with, but I'll tell you what I found out afterwards. It turned out to be the same block of units that this other guy had been trying to sell me at a much higher price. And this other guy was an investor, and he had purchased the property and negotiated prior access to go in and renovate them. So he'd spent, I believe the figure was $110,000 or $170,000 doing them up. It was quite a significant amount of money. Got to settlement day, couldn't settle. So they issued a 12-day notice, and at the time that I was making my offer, they hadn't actually cancelled the contract, so we had a whole lot of weird stuff to try and get our foot on the deal, but that was kind of incidental to the circumstances. The vendor put them back on the market at a lower price rather than what they were worth, because he'd been advised that if he tried to sell them for what they were worth now, he could be sued for a thing called betterment by the unsuccessful purchaser. So I bought them for $810 or $820. They were worth 1.1. The only reason that I got them, though, was because this other guy didn't get his ducks in a row, to use an expression I like, and so he couldn't settle. Now, I know the guy was involved since. I've met him a few times, and what happened was he went and got a valuation for the property, and the valuation was ridiculously low, and on the basis of that he couldn't get finance. But what it meant was he didn't go and get another valuation. He didn't do any of the things that I would teach you to do to make sure that you didn't get in that situation. So as a result of somebody not organising their finance prior to settlement, I purchased a deal with $300,000 equity in it. I then spent only about another $25,000, and I then added another $400,000 equity. So that's the power of a big equity deal, and you want to make sure that you're not going to lose that's not going to fall over on you. So that's my Rotorua deal. By getting a good equity deal into your portfolio, it will transform your ability to borrow money. By making sure that you know what you're doing. As those of you who attended my workshops will know, you need to get in a place where you can double settle, where you know you can get a mortgage, and that's all that this guy didn't get right, and it's cost him $700,000, and it's made me $700,000. So understand the power of equity deals and of knowing what you're doing, and of the power that they can have. The next time you see, like the deal I talked about yesterday from Trish, if that was worth 1.2, if it was going to value at 1.2 and you could buy it for 8, I'd be trying to keep it, because if you were getting going, and all other things being equal, there was enough income and stuff. But equity deals are great. Whoever said that cash flow is king lied. Capital growth, equity, net worth is what will make you financially free, and you can create the cash flow anytime. So welcome to RotoVegas. I'm speaking at the Rotorua PIA tomorrow. It's my first keynote address, and I'm going to wear a shirt and everything. I look forward to talking to you